August 8th on the Alan Osborne Show, and 2 days to election time. Uh, anyway, you just can't make this shit up. We're going to start out a word from our non-paying sponsor. We out there and did a little bit of road rage, so we're going to do a quick shout out for a few seconds to the road rage page, because they're going to help you with some recycling tips in case you miss these. I know everybody's getting tired of election season, but we're going to help you out how to make some useful stuff, so hold on here. So we pick up here with the road rage page with these helpful tips. Go ahead, show them what to do.
I got these 2 flyers. I mean, it's about the only time you're going to see them in uniform, but I appreciate y'all sending these out. I was running low on something. Yeah, these come in handy. I was needing to get that up. I appreciate.
Lord have mercy. You can't make this poop up, but you can pick it up with that stuff there, can't you? Ain't that something else? Well, hold on a second. We'll get back to something. You know, we're going to get into the second half of the Sheriff's live show. I wrote the Sheriff a letter today. In detail, did just what he asked. He said to let them know. Send it to his PIO. So I sent it to the PIO and him and a bunch of his lieutenants. So those only emails that were online. But, you know, just trying to get the word out. We're just a couple days before early voting, and just want people to have all the information, all the truth that's out there, because apparently there's some different levels of truth out there. So if you'll hang on just a minute, we're going to hear from somebody else. I want a big shout out to the Sammy Jackson page for spreading the truth, and you ought to check out his music too. This is the second part of this, so it'll set you up for the third part of the show, so hang on.
In the small town where secrets lie, backroom deals under the moonlit sky. Elected and connected, the power grows. Stealing money, nobody knows. Whispers in the dark, the town's heartaches. Dirty money, sex for hire. The town's on fire with hidden desire. Corruption runs deep beneath the surface. Small town politics full of purpose. Behind closed doors, the truth unfolds. The elected ones, the stories untold. Lies and deceit, a twisted game. Morality lost in the pursuit of fame. Betrayal in the air, the town's fate sealed. Dirty money, sex for hire. The town's on fire with hidden desire. Corruption runs deep beneath the surface. Small town politics full of purpose. Closed doors, the truth unfolds. The elected ones, the stories untold. Lies and deceit, a twisted game. Morality lost in the pursuit of fame. Betrayal in the air, the town's fate sealed. Dirty money, sex for hire. The town's on fire with hidden desire. Corruption runs deep beneath the surface. Small town politics full of purpose. Dirty money, sex for hire. The town's on fire with hidden desire. Corruption runs deep beneath the surface. Small town politics full of purpose.
A big shout out to Sammy J. He's been putting out some good videos with some good information. Check him out. And I think it's a guitar guy on there. And check out Sammy's videos. It's good. And thanks to Road Rage for making that public service announcement. Hey, listen, folks, if you haven't noticed around there, The sheriff and let's see, Chuck and Tony, they've all got this big developer money. Look at the sheriff. I got $100 campaign. He's worried about me. He's raised $172,000. And when I checked the other day, and most of that's coming from developers and lawyers. Does that make any sense to you now, especially after part one? And you ought to see the letter I sent him today. He got donations from the same lawyer that told him not to investigate what he said he was unaware of. I mean, you can't make that shit up. I mean, and why are people in Davie County paying to put signs all over Walton County? Why? Did we sell off Walton County? Did everybody out there sell off Walton County to Davie County? And who in Davie County is making so much money off Walton County that they need to be completely in the middle of our elections? You got most of that money that's going to Mike ain't Walton County money. And that just don't make any sense. And Chuck lending himself all that cash, a man that can't pay his bills and tell the truth. Now he's grasping at shit about the beach. He never went to a single meeting. Hell, he didn't even vote in the primary, for 10 years, Chuck? Shit. Anyway, so we're going to go on to part two, and we're going to pull Mikey up here and let him continue with his Sheriff Live with Lies. That's what I call it. The Sheriff Live with Lies. So here we go. Here we pick up about...
First, Peter Dragon, do you denounce Trey Nick's racist text messages?
I denounce any racist messages, period, full stop, end of story.
Redneck.
I just want to make sure he covered that. He denounced what Trey Nick did, but his election signs are sitting right on Trey Nick's property, nailed right to him. I say one thing, I do another. No distancing whatsoever. Hold on here just a second. Here we pick up asking the sheriff about Chaz. And then we're going to ask him about environmental crimes, and I'm just going to let him talk on instead of trying to talk, and we'll talk at the end. So go ahead, Sheriff.
Tony was going to jump in?
No, I thought maybe a good solution to some of this traffic there would be using the light, the traffic signal, to go down towards the...
Peter Dragon, is Chaz Galloway still facing charges?
Never comment about ongoing investigations about who or may not be the subject of an investigation.
Peter Dragon, why don't you have a developmental environmental crimes investigator? Do you think that there are none?
No, I think it's actually really useful. So the way I kind of look at that is with Department of Environmental Protection. So we have a pretty close work relationship. And the way, I think the analogy for that is that you have a general practitioner, right, which is us. And so for certain things that are obvious environmental crime, illegal dumping, things of that nature, we can immediately make those charges. But if it gets to be a more complex environmental crime, you really should turn it over to them. By the way, we do the same thing with arson investigation. So if an arson gets to that, we call the State Fire Marshal's office, right?
And Department of Ag.
Well, Department of Ag for certain ag crimes. Think about the Highway Patrol for just a second. If there is a serious traffic crash, we call the experts in that, which is the Florida Highway Patrol. So that's the way the state of Florida is kind of set up and designed. It's not that we can't do it. It's just that they're specifically trained to do that. So, but for basic things, like if we catch some, and occasionally we charge, maybe a contractor or somebody for illegal dumping. So we have done those. We charged people for, discharging in the bay a few years ago with a development or so they were like dredging out something over there, right? So we went to the initial charge, then we called DEP and they had them come in and handle it.
Okay, so Mike just says that he handles those kind of crimes and that he thinks that's important. Well, damn, that's a shocker to me. Mikey, I didn't know that you thought that, because I've been handing you this stuff, and in a little bit you're going to hear Mikey say that he was unaware of any of this. He just said that he can stop contractors and developers from dumping stuff into the bay. Well, Mikey, you've been on notice, and there's been mounting evidence since 2012, 2013. I sent you a letter today that shows all the ways that you've been notified and all your senior leadership. So Audie and Donnie and your cousin Dustin Cosin And all those criminal people, listen up. Mikey's got all these documents, and they've got them, and I sent them to all your lieutenants today, showing you that both you and the state attorney's office have just refused to take any action, and that we're forced to ask code enforcement to find out if code enforcement lied. See the catch-22, Mikey? But I can show you the environmental crime on any given day with all the paperwork, and you can stop it. You can be the hero to save the bay, Mikey. I mean, I just let you know about it in 2012, 2013. I know it takes you a while to get moving, but now that you said that you were unaware, I'm going to let you talk again. Hold on. So Mikey gets addressed about the direct piping of water. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows about all that Sandestin. It's being piped off county property. Also, it's just not the developer. It's the county employees themselves covering up the direct piping. And when I see direct piping, I mean like 36-inch pipe. So listen to what Mikey says that he's done and can do and that he's unaware of.
Oh man. Peter Dragon, direct piping against the law 380 is occurring by county employees into the bay right now. Going back to the environmental investigator question.
So, I mean, direct piping in the county's direct piping into the bay? Send it, email it, send what that is, and we'll absolutely take a look at it. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. And then
I don't think I've had a report of that in any. Oh, I can tell you, I hadn't had a report of that to my knowledge.
Peter Dragon, why didn't your investigators
Okay.
respond to the complaints?
He
about
hadn't
weapons
had
being
any
brought into the BCC
reports
meetings?
that he was aware of. I'm not even going to get to the weapons part yet of what Mikey lied about. He said he hadn't had any reports and that he's not aware of any direct piping. Now, you people that follow my show know. I guess I need to put my screen back up there. Hold on. Now, you people follow my show know that I've probably did hundreds of things over the years about this issue getting worse and worse, about who was polluting the bay and who wasn't enforcing the law at the county. Now, Mikey's probably had 10 shows done against him, and he's admitted he's watched them. He's admitted, I'm not saying he watched all of them, but he's admitted he's watched that stuff. He even knew what it said on the Duds of Walton video about, I mean, he watches it, and so does his deputies, because they get mad and type on Facebook about it. But the facts are laid out to him, and I sent him a letter today that shows him his own emails. He's in there asking the developer in 2013, hey, do I got to enforce the law? Now, he's asking the attorney of the people who stood up at the county that I say that are not following the law. So he went to ask him, hey, I'm the sheriff. Hey, Mr. Lawyer, you're my lawyer. When you're their lawyer, are you breaking the rules? Does that pass the smell test? And I mean, just breaking it down real simple. So, Mikey, you are aware. I don't think anybody in this county that goes to my YouTube channel, and some of those episodes have been watched thousands of times. And if you are unaware, Mikey, I'm not sure you need to be the sheriff after an issue's laid out there and been on the front page of the paper. Part of it's in your ethics complaint that you can't claim was dismissed, but you're right, the ethics commission didn't take action, not because they weren't founded, but because, right, Mikey? Because they didn't have the authority from what was accused to take action on you. And when I turned it over to the state attorney, Bill Evans didn't want to mess with you either, right? Because him and Clayton was buddies, but Uncle Clayton ain't around, is he, Mikey, anymore? You just can't make this shit up. I'm going to go back and let Mikey lie one more time. But for Mike Atkinson to say he was unaware of this 2,000 acres of environmental water piping, he's lost his mind. Or he just believes we're that dumb. I guess maybe he doesn't know because he spends so much time in Tallahassee. And he goes on to say, and I'm going to let him say it, hang on. Mikey goes on to say, listen what he says about the accusations about a gun investigation.
by non-sworn officers.
I want to think it pretty extensively. This was discussed with the state's attorney's office, us, and City of Defuniak Springs. Gosh, probably 6 months, a year ago, some version of that. Yeah. So they can't bring it. Just the short version is only the sheriff and/or his designee, and only I get to make that decision. Otherwise, or a judge, depending if it's in a courtroom. And so, in conference with the state's attorney's office, we felt no charge.
So that's the last lie I'm gonna cover on Mike tonight, because listen, that ain't what happened. The police chief of Defuniak refused to even interview Boots when all that shit happened, and nobody questioned Danny about him carrying a gun. The sheriff's right. They're supposed to have special approval, but it doesn't say anywhere on the judge's order that Mike can make that decision that I remember. And here's the thing, it was never investigated whatsoever. They never interviewed Boots. I went to the state attorney's office, me and Suzanne Harris did, and Josh told me to take it to the sheriff and ask him to investigate. I emailed it to the SO Investigations email, and I can prove that too. And he said there were extensive discussions, but not with me, the victim. There wasn't a single discussion with me, the victim, except by an overweight line chief of Defuniak Springs Police Department. That's it. Now, you can't make this shit up, but the office of sheriff and these commissioners of what's going on, you ain't gonna believe it. Tune in next time where I show you $1 million land deal off the county's back in just a couple of years, and none of us were even aware of it. And guess what? It's got some Atkinsons tied to it. So tune in next time. This was part 2 of the sheriff, and there's going to be some more parts to follow. So Mike, you've got that email, and there's all the attachments. And I'll see you next time, Mike. This is the Alan Osborne Show, and you can't make this shit up, but you can unelect it August 20th. Get out there and do something and take some relatives. See ya.